Hello everyone, and welcome to our pod show for preventative mental health. I'm Dr. Caroline Heim, and this is Dr. Christian Heim, a psychiatrist. Enough of that. Today we're going to talk about health anxiety. We have been getting so many questions about health anxiety. People are really anxious during these COVID times, and it's manifesting, of course, in health anxiety. They're getting multiple tests, they're worried if they've got OCD, and they're also feeling uncomfortable going out in public and social distancing or not, and feeling very stiff and formal. So we thought we'd put together a video about health anxiety.
Hello everyone. Just want to say hello.
Yes, Dr. Holmes here too. Yeah. I guess you've noticed that.
Yeah.
You've probably noticed also that the monkey, because we're going to be talking about how anxiety is sometimes like a monkey, an anxiety monkey, but you can train it.
You can train it. I'm not the monkey, this is the monkey over here, all right? And yeah, I suppose that's going to be one of the take-home messages, that you can't get rid of anxiety or health anxiety, but you can actually train it like a monkey. So we'll get to that.
Okay, we're going to jump straight into it today. So what is health anxiety?
All right, a small question to begin with, all right? Because there are a number of things to flesh out here. First of all, what is anxiety? And to talk about that, I've actually got to talk about the difference between fear and anxiety.
Oh, that is an important difference. Yeah.
Fear is a real threat. Whenever there's a threat to our body or our well-being, like let's say there's a king cobra just sitting in front of you, you will feel fear because the threat is real. But if you are sitting in an armchair and you're thinking about king cobras and you're getting anxious about that. The word is anxiety because it's an imagined threat. And that's the difference between the two.
Real and imagined threat then.
Yeah, so
fear is the real threat.
It's a real threat.
And anxiety is the imagined threat.
Is an imagined threat. Now, okay, so the psychiatric word for health anxiety is actually illness anxiety disorder.
Okay.
All right? But the idea is, and this is what's really interesting about health anxiety, is it's somewhere between a real threat and an imagined threat.
Yeah.
So in other words, the threat is real. COVID is actually out there, right? But if we're changing our behaviours so much that we're not functioning properly because we're afraid to get out there with people, is that a real threat or an imagined one?
Yeah,
it lies in between those.
Yeah, okay. So that's really interesting. But for health anxiety specifically, are there certain manifestations of it? Like I'm thinking panic attacks, and people have been talking to us about OCD and things like that.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the manifestations of all anxiety.
Okay.
So what happens in anxiety, and anxiety is real, and here's the thing, anxiety is actually our friend, all right? Because anxiety can actually protect us from real threats. It's just like a monkey.
A monkey!
All right, so if you bring a monkey along with you, our friend the monkey, if you bring a monkey around with you all the time, a monkey will do certain things, all right? A monkey can alert you to certain threats. Like if there's a king cobra there, the monkey will take care of it for you, all right?
Yeah.
But at the least, it will alert you that there's a king cobra there. So in our brain, we have two focus centers. One is in our frontal lobe, what we choose to concentrate on.
Yeah.
But another one is in our brain stem. Now that's the kind of part of the brain that we share with reptiles like crocodiles, all right? So in other words, if there's a king cobra there, all right, your brain is going to see it if you want to or not, because it wants to stay alive. So like a monkey, anxiety can alert you to harm. Okay, so we were talking about what happens then is the brain then goes into this kind of an overdrive state, right? Your noticing centers, reticular activating center is actually what it's called in the brainstem.
Reticular activating center.
All right?
Okay.
Or system.
All
right. Basically send a message to your amygdala, right, which is in your limbic system, which creates the emotion of pain or threat or fear, okay? And then your amygdala basically talks to your hypothalamus. This is, we're all in the limbic system here. And the hypothalamus then says to the pituitary gland, okay, threat, let's get the body ready, pump out some adrenaline. So then your pituitary gland sends a message down to your suprarenal glands, which sit on top of your kidney, pump out adrenaline.
Okay.
And then we get the manifestations of anxiety. Fast heart rate,
Right, yeah.
fast shallow breathing, okay? Shaking, having all this energy, your eyes dilating, wanting to get on and do something really quickly. And this is what we call the fight or flight syndrome.
So it's actually a manifestation of a fear state, even though it is only anxiety. Is that right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So we're in that area between fear, which is a real threat, because if you had a king cobra state,
you've got to run.
That's right. That's right. You've got to run.
You need the energy to run. Yes.
Right. Or anxiety,
Yeah.
all right, which is an imagined threat.
Yeah.
And we could all imagine scenarios in our head that would get us fearful.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we're in that in-between area, and that's what COVID does to us.
Okay, yeah. So you said panic attacks and sweaty palms and heart rate and all of that. Yeah.
Well, actually, I didn't say those, but you did, right?
Well,
okay.
well, no, you said heart rate and
I did,
anything
I did.
that pumps all of that. So
I did.
go through those again.
They're the manifestations of adrenaline. Okay, so heart rate, breathing rate,
Yeah.
Shaking, sweaty palms, as you said. And the thing is, you get this feeling of butterflies in your stomach, because what the body does is it takes all the blood away from your stomach and puts it into your arms and your legs because you need it.
Because you need it. So
need
it's
it.
actually a survival thing. So it's actually good for you in a way.
It is totally good for you.
Okay, all right,
Which is one of the main messages. We don't want to get rid of anxiety, but we do want us to train it like a monkey, so
Yeah.
it doesn't get out of control. Because a monkey can be fun,
Yeah.
just like anxiety can be fun. And you think roller coaster,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sort of wee, lots of fun, excitement, all of that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
right? But if it gets too much, if your monkey starts sort of annoying the people around you, screeching and screaming all over
Yeah.
the place and causing mischief,
Yeah.
that's what happens with anxiety.
Yeah.
And so it gets too much. And if your anxiety monkey is out of control, right, you've got to train
You've got to
it.
train it. Okay, so we're starting to talk more about the anxiety monkey, which I'm very happy about. Okay, because they've got two heads almost, the good and the bad, you know. All right, so I want to talk more about the anxiety and its annoying side first,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
We're talking about screaming a lot, okay? So all these things screaming at us. So what are some of the things that the monkey screams?
Oh, what does the monkey scream?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot, but go ahead.
All right, so the monkey is actually screaming during this COVID crisis, I want to stay alive.
Yeah.
That is the number one thing that the monkey is screaming,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And this is why I say that all of us during this coronavirus crisis are carrying around an extra 20 pounds of anxiety.
Do you hear that? Remember that. Every single one of us is carrying that, okay?
So you may find yourself getting irritable, argumentative,
Yeah.
tense, you can't sleep, you're worrying, you're all keyed up and you can't concentrate on what you're doing. And quite frankly, that's what all of us are going through. But you know what? None of us actually want to admit that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
pretend that we're not experiencing that, which means that somebody who's experiencing that tends to feel, oh, I must be the only one that's
Yeah.
experiencing that. So,
Yeah.
so one of the take-home messages, we're all experiencing this to some degree.
Yeah, and the people that I've talked to that do have health anxiety have said that. I just feel so alone. And no one else is reacting this way to it, you know?
So it seems, yeah.
So it seems, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go back to those monkey screams because fun fact, there's one species of monkeys called the howler monkey whose howls, because he's just in so much distress, can be heard 3 miles away. Okay?
3 miles?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right.
And that's kind of like the howl of the monkey that's sort of in pain and it's just all too much. Everything is just too much,
Yeah.
you know? So what I'm talking about with those screams is your monkey screaming out, you know, something's wrong with you, you're different, you're bad, all those kind of things. Yeah.
And this is why anxiety is like a monkey,
Yeah.
right? We want to make sure that we survive,
Yeah.
that we live, that we're healthy. But if it keeps screaming at you and you can't go on in life, you can't function, that's when it starts to become a problem. When
Yeah.
you're not functioning, or if you're changing your behaviors, you're avoiding people, you're avoiding certain things,
Yeah.
all too much, you're isolating, okay, and you're worrying too much, okay, and you're in this state of chronic anxiety. So in other words, you feel like you're all keyed up in fight and flight mode,
Yeah.
just a little bit all the time.
Yeah.
that's really unhealthy.
Okay.
So we want to find ways to
overcome that.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of my questions. What's that point where you actually need to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist? And
that's hard to say, but the main thing is if you're not functioning, or if you're particularly worried about it, it may be time for you to get help. But I suppose the reason that we're doing this is so that people can have a few ideas that they can get on top of it before they need to see somebody.
Okay, all right. So we've talked about some of the really negative things about monkeys, but I really do want to talk about some of the good things about monkeys. So you're talking about how it's actually good for you to have a monkey.
Yes.
So we don't want to get rid of the monkey entirely. So what are some of the good things?
Okay, so let's look at stage fright, which a lot of people that in your industry feel, all right?
Oh, that's a great example because I always talk to my actors. I'm a theatre lecturer and I tell my actors, it's really good to have stage fright because it builds adrenaline and you should worry if you don't have stage fright because it actually heightens your senses and you can put all of that energy into your performance. It's actually quite wonderful.
So right there we have some of the good things and some of the bad things about anxiety monkeys.
Yeah.
If you are nervous, if you are anxious that you're going to get it wrong, that can get in the way of a good performance.
Yeah.
However, if you're excited, if you're pumped, that becomes part of that energy where you just lift yourself and lift the performance to flow with the people, right?
Yeah.
So the key to getting one and not the other is training the anxiety monkey,
right?
To get the good stuff and less of the bad stuff.
Okay, all right.
So let's go to health anxiety and the coronavirus crisis. Is there good stuff about this? Yes, because the monkey can make you not only stay alive, but do things to minimize your risk of getting the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So, you wear a mask, you wash your hands, you avoid people who are coughing and spluttering around you, right? You make sure you get good sleep, right? And you don't bring your hands to your face, right? Now, you need a bit of anxiety to remind you to do all of that.
Yes.
This is what doctors do in all hospitals, all right? They do those things and it keeps them alive, it keeps them healthy.
Yeah.
Knowing that means that you don't have to go overboard with it.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's when it
You go
becomes a
overboard.
problem. It's
That's
that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about the good things. We've talked about the bad things about the anxiety monkey. So we're not actually wanting to get rid of our monkey or health anxiety, but how do we get on top of it a bit more?
Okay. So this is what's interesting about the coronavirus crisis. All right. We want to socialize, we want to be close to our friends, but we have this anxiety monkey inside us saying, oh, you might get the virus, okay? And this is something that's really interesting because it goes to the core of our socializing. You see, there are some cultures that like standing close and some cultures that like standing apart. And it was the anthropologist Edward T. Hall that basically looked at all these different comfort zones that we have.
Yeah.
And he talked about one called the public zone,
Yes.
which is, interestingly enough, about 2 meters, right?
Okay.
Now, you can let people that you know really well very close and friends just a bit further and family and all of that. But people that you don't know, people from the general public, we tend to keep in a public zone, which tends to be about 2 meters.
Oh, funny that. I think the health authorities are saying something like that, aren't they?
Well, and the theory is that we came up with this public zone for 2 reasons. It's the zone that microbes have less of a chance of getting us, okay? And the other thing is at 2 meters, if somebody decides to attack you, you can still do something about it, sort of get out of the way or something, all right?
Run!
That's right.
That's true. Yeah.
So the virus has changed the way that we socialize.
Yeah.
And so people who are suffering health anxiety with coronavirus, just a bit afraid to get close to their friends again. It's sort of like friends, instead of being that close, are now sort of, hi, this far away.
Do we hug or what do we do and can I handshake? It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And so if that gets in the way of you and your friends, then health anxiety has become a bit of a problem monkey too.
Okay, all right. So that's another warning sign in a way.
That's right.
Yeah, okay, that's really good. All right, so we actually did get a question about this, about health anxiety, and the question was that it's been traumatic all last year and now this year, and it still is for everyone, particularly in certain places in the world. How long is it going to take us or take people to get control of their monkey?
control of their monkey.
Yeah.
All right, so basically get on top of anxiety so that anxiety doesn't affect us.
Yeah. You said that everyone's carrying around a few, 20 extra pounds or whatever
that's right.
of anxiety.
Yeah.
We're all going to feel it, even if life is going well for us, even if we're opening up our houses again, we're seeing people, we're going to restaurants. There's still that little edge to everything, isn't there? Yeah.
And it's actually not a little edge, it's actually quite a big edge.
Yeah.
And the bad news is that in a sense, we don't get over our anxiety. It will always be with us.
Okay.
All right? The good news is that if you suffer particularly from health anxiety and any anxiety that's too much, you can train your monkey.
Yeah,
all right?
okay,
You can actually get on top of it so that you go, you know what, I'm on top of this. I can get through with life.
Okay.
So in other words, you can get on top of anxiety as difficult as it is.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah. So we're going to still have a little bit of it, but it's going to take time and awareness of it and just training your monkey a bit more.
Yeah, it takes effort more than anything.
Okay, all right. So we're going to get into some specifics about training the monkey now and some practicals, and that will be in our hope section. Is there anything you wanted to say before?
No, that's about it.
Okay, all right. So we always have a hope section. So what is a hope, Dr. Haim?
The hope is in training your monkey, all right? And I've got a little acronym because, I love acronyms. And the acronym is BEAT. B-E-A-T. This is how to beat anxiety. And it's not this sort of beat, all right?
No!
That's
we
not
still
the
want
beat
the
that we're
monkey.
talking about.
He's so cute. Actually, he looks really chill, this monkey.
He does, he does. All right, this is the beat that we're talking about. The beat that goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
Nice.
So music has a beat behind it. It keeps order, all right? Or the other way to think about it is the heartbeat, all right? The heartbeat is, it's pretty chill, all right? But it's got order to it, and you want to keep that order. So when you beat anxiety, what we're really saying is to bring order to your anxiety monkey, to think about it and prepare it. Okay. So B-E-A-T.
So the B.
B is breathe.
Breathe. Think breathe with us, actually. Why not?
Breathe in.
And
out.
And in. And out. And in. And out.
And just with those 3 breaths, you will feel yourself already having control over your anxiety, being a lot more chill, being on top of it. So when your anxiety monkey is jumping up and down, right, and you're out in public there, all that you have to do is breathe.
Breathe. So important. Yeah.
And nobody needs to know that you're doing some deep breathing, that you're just keeping yourself a bit chill. You can be really quiet about this, but it gives you the space to already start to train your monkey.
Okay, all right, great. So that's the B, breathe. E.
E. E is for exercise.
Yes.
When your monkey's really out of control, when he's got too much energy, okay, when the monkey is just going berserk, you may need to exercise your anxiety monkey.
Okay, yeah.
So go for a run, go for a walk, do something. And this is good to do on a daily basis. We have umpteen dozen studies that show that anxiety can be helped by exercise. Depression gets helped by exercise. Your whole mental health gets helped by exercise. And part of the reason is that it gets rid of the bad energy of anxiety.
You talked about how monkeys like to exercise, to get all wound up and everything.
Yep.
Okay, so another fun fact about monkeys. Okay, there's one species of monkey that can jump up to 15 feet in the air. So, I mean, they can really get out of control, these monkeys. So you really need to tame them somehow by doing some exercise on your own, saying, I'm in control.
That's right. That's really good. 15 feet.
Yeah, I know. It's
That's
phenomenal,
insane.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so exercise, so good for you. But if you're in that moment, do you just say, okay, I'm going to take a run or
For some people, yeah.
So,
For some people it is, okay?
okay.
For other people, it's just get a bit of exercise every day to get rid of that energy of anxiety. And for some people, it's just exercise a bit every day so that the anxiety doesn't get there in the first place.
Okay,
Even
great.
something like this is a bit of
Check it out.
exercise which Gets rid of anxiety right there on the spot.
Yeah, great. Okay. All right, so the A.
A is for awareness. Be aware of your monkey's thoughts and feelings, right? And you do this by asking yourself, okay, what am I thinking right now?
Yeah.
What am I feeling right now? Because if you've got that awareness, you can give yourself choice. Choice to exercise and breathe if you need.
Yeah.
Choice to just draw back.
Yeah.
Choice to say, no, I'm okay. I'm just going to keep going forward with this, all right?
Yeah.
But when you give yourself awareness, you give yourself choice.
So you've got to kind of stand outside yourself to do that, though, don't you? And just so is that a form of mindfulness, or
So that's becoming your observing self.
you're observing?
So that, in a sense, is mindfulness. When you are looking and sort of saying, what am I thinking, what am I feeling, okay?
Do you name those thoughts and feelings?
That's a good idea.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, good. All right, and the T.
Okay, the T is to take time. Take time particularly to trust and to think, right? Yeah. So when you think about the person in front of you, do I trust this person?
Yeah.
Because the idea is to get friends back into the friendship zone as soon as you can, right?
Yeah.
Taking time means you're just going to chill down a little bit, which means you're going to just bring down that treadmill of busyness that we're all on that actually feeds into our anxiety, that excites the anxiety monkey, you know. It's a real problem.
And that tied in with breathing. It must be tied in with breathing, because to take time, you breathe through things,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
The breath is the number one thing.
Okay.
So breathing is the number one thing. If you forget any of these, just remember breath.
breathe.
Just always breathe, because it is the only way that we can physically move our nervous system from fight and flight over to what we call rest and digest. There's the other side of our nervous system that makes the heart rate slower, that makes our breathing slower, that takes away that feeling of trembling and energy, all right? And it's also the side of our nervous system that gets blood away from our hands and feet back into our stomach so that we can chill and digest our food.
Yeah, that's right. And the butterflies stop,
The butterflies stop. In fact, that side of the nervous system gives us that feeling of being with friends over our favorite meal, in our favorite place, just talking and enjoying meals.
Okay.
That's why we call it rest and digest.
And the monkey can chill with you then too.
Yeah, you take care of yourself there, monkey.
So beat. B-E-A-T. B, breathe. E, exercise. A, be aware. And T, take time. Is there a challenge?
Yeah, the challenge is to train your anxiety monkey.
Okay.
To actually see that you do have anxiety.
Yeah, okay, notice that, yeah.
Notice that, and give it a bit of a shorter leash. Say, monkey, you're allowed to come out with me, but we got to train you.
Settle down.
Got to train you to behave, all right? Don't you go mucking things up, all right?
Yeah, great. Okay, good. So that's your challenge. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this short video on health anxiety. If you like it, please put the thumbs up, subscribe to us. We'll be back with more videos on preventative mental health. Actually, if you've got any questions that you have on anything to do with mental health, put them in the chat and we might be able to make a video of that for you and answer those questions. We'd really like to do that.
Sounds good.
Okay, so thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
This has been Dr. Caroline Heim and Dr. Christian Heim. See you next time.